Hi and welcome. I bought a set of Park Tools combined open and ratcheting spanners, and I wanted to share my experience with these tools. Briefly put, they are not bad, but they don't look like some top quality. They get the job done and they are okay for using with bicycles. I am using them and I don't need to replace any of these, but they don't look like top class quality tools, yet they get the job done. So it's a bit of a bang for the buck matter. They are not very cheap, but also they are not very expensive. There are more expensive models of these tools made by other manufacturers. So it's a bit of a, I would say the cheapest that gets the job done, but this is a luxury item. So I'll explain that in the video and I'll share my experience and hopefully give you some useful information. So let us first begin. These tools are, I already made a video about spanners or wrenches depending on which side of the Atlantic you are on, and there are open end wrenches and box end wrenches. This is a box end wrench, but these also have a ratchet in their box end, and that lets you get some things done more quickly. There are some tasks that you know you will get done eventually, but they just take a bit of time, and this saves you on that non-creative, to say even tedious tasks. You can sometimes reach for a socket or a deep socket, but sometimes you cannot because the extension that you're working on is too long, or you already have these at hand, as is often the case for me when I'm working mostly on bicycles and motorcycles. So I wanted to buy a set of these spanners. These are not, if you're a home mechanic or even not super busy shop, these are not obligatory. You can get every job done with the decent quality open end and the box end spanners. This is just designed to make your job a little bit easier. So if you are a very busy bicycle shop, it will let you earn more money per hour as you work faster for the same price of service. And if you are sort of trying to make things easier for you and you can afford these tools, then they can help, and that was my main idea. I wanted to get some nice tools to get some things done more quickly. And for bicycle mechanics, for me, it's more convenient to have these flat. Many models of these have at an angle of this box end, like this one, only this one is not ratcheting, but I was looking for flat ones for bicycle mechanics. For me at least, that is the preferred design and the preferred option. There are also some with swiveling head, or ones that have a switch so that you can turn to which side they get the torque and in which side they just ratchet. But my logic was that the ones that are of a simpler design will be more durable, more robust, and let me use more torque. One of the reasons why I decided to, there are several reasons why I decided to get this particular set. I'm not sure how here metric wrench 12 is for the 12 millimeters, and I'm not sure how the Park Tool markets their metric wrench set whole for this ratcheting. I'll put the link, Amazon affiliate link, in the video's description. So, but this is what the 12 millimeter one looks like. And one of the reasons for buying this set is that they came from 6 millimeters all the way to 17 millimeters. I looked at models by some other manufacturers and they often miss number 6 and number 7. For those that are metric, I only needed metric wrenches, and I wanted to have all the sizes for in 1 millimeter increments, so all the metric sizes. So this one comes with 6, 7, 8 all the way to 17 in 1 millimeter. Nothing is skipped, and you have from the smallest that you might need to the largest one. So that's one of the reasons why I got this particular set. The other reasons is that I wanted a set that is flat like this. And the third reason that is, for me at least, very important and inspired confidence is that I could find information about the maximum recommended torque for each of the sizes of the wrenches in this set. For many other, even highly renowned and very expensive models by other manufacturers, I could not get that information. Even for some ratcheting tools, I sent an inquiry through a website contact form and got a confirmation email that they received my question, but I never got any reply. So in this case, I would like to say kudos to Mr. Calvin and to whole Park Tools team because of the way they provide information and tutorials, great YouTube channel and books and everything. That I really like that, and I thought that it would be nice to support that with my money. And so I will put a link, I will put information about these torques for each one in this video's description, but generally they let you really use a lot of torque that is reasonable to be, remotely reasonable to be used with the relative to the tool size. So yes, I cannot use the small 6 mm to put 100 Newton meters of torque, but anything that I would use on a bolt that size, this one will handle easily. So it's not a good idea to use the ratcheting side to break loose some very stuck bolts, but if you need to tighten something on a bicycle or even a motorcycle, you can get it tightened with this side to the required torque with no problems, no fears of this skipping. I did have experience by working in other workshops with some tools even more expensive that don't have that quality, and this part starts slipping and it's no longer working in either way. It doesn't move the bolt. So these ones are not like that. Now I will discuss the downsides. The main downside is that these are very thick. I have some here. Let's take this 12 mm. I have some very cheap Chinese supermarket Mr. Bricolage wrenches, and I thought, okay, these are very thick, but they get the job done. They are okay. And these ones are even thicker than my old tools. So let's try. This is about the difference. So these will sometimes, with bicycles you have no problems, but sometimes with other stuff you can have clearance problems if you have some two bolts like a lock nut or something and you work with this. With bicycles it's not a problem. You usually need to use the super thin cone wrenches for anything that is really tight there. So these are a lot thinner than any sort of ordinary wrench or spanner, but for general stuff, motorcycles and all, these are a bit on the thick side, and I don't like that. Are they compensating for less hard steel, lower quality? I don't know. But that's one downside. Another downside is the ratcheting mechanism quality, because some of these tools put too much drag and it's not working uniformly. Here it gets stuck, then it moves. Very strange. This is 12 mm. Now let's take a look at 11 mm. This one it gets very stuck. It gets very stuck and it feels as if it's broken. I tried to spray some lubricant around the edges and work it, but it's not helping. Now the 13 mm works like a charm. The sound and the feel is brilliant, and it does not put much back drag, so when you're working it's going nicely. Oh, the color coding is mine. I made some video about the color coding of my tools, so I will make that pop up in your top right hand corner. Won't bother you with that. And this is, I marked the red direction into which bolt or nut will move when I'm working this. So if I need to screw something in that direction, I put this towards that and I work it and it goes that way. If I need to use it the other way, I turn it around. They do have a mark to mark the direction, but I prefer to use this. It's not the best paint job in the world, but it gets the job done, and it's simpler for me. It saves me some concentration and some time. So that is the problem and the pros and the cons. The whole set cost about $150, so there are a lot more expensive, but they're also cheaper. And these are the dimensions I measured for each size in the set, for 6, 7, 8, 9 and all the way to 17. This is the size. This is the thickness of the open end. So the thickness, and I was amazed. Number 7 is thicker than number 8. It's like some poor machining or quality control. Sizes go all the way up and down. That was the first instance, but very soon I realized it's not an exception. It happens here. 13 is thinner than 12 and so on. I also measured the width, total width of the open end, and apart from also that seems to be a bit more uniform, even though there are exceptions, and it's generally not too much of a problem compared to other tools. The main complaint of mine is the thickness. Then I measured the width of the box end. This by the width, by that direction, and I also measured the thickness, how thick is the box end, but of course there is mechanism there and I expected this to be thicker, so that's not a problem. And I also measured the diameter of the jaws, so the 6 millimeters, 6.1 millimeters wide. It's not good when they are all the way to the same size, because you then have problems putting this onto a bolt, but it's not good when they're too much oversized, so you start at an angle and it doesn't catch the square bolt very well, so you have a lot of play. And so these are the dimensions that I thought that it would be good idea to measure and use. And here I measured some of my Unior wrenches for thickness and the open end thickness, just for a comparison. So the 15 millimeter Unior is 5.1 millimeters thick and the Park tool is 7 millimeters thick, so that's quite a difference. And similar for the 17 millimeters. So I did that just to confirm that my subjective impression that they are very wide and thick is not some sort of a mistake, just to confirm it. And so would I recommend these and would I buy them again? They're working for me. They're getting the job done, and my idea was to get the set for all the sizes and then see if those that I use very often do manage to wear out or break, or if I come into a problem with some certain task with certain thickness, as is the case with these 12 millimeters. They are just a fraction of a millimeter shy of being too thick for my motorcycle, but they get the job done for the chain tension lock nuts, so it's a pass. I'm keeping these so far. They're serving me well, they are okay, but I've explained all the downsides that I've noticed, and I would prefer to pay 30% more for a bit higher quality of this ratcheting mechanism and a bit less thick jaws. But if that would be possible by keeping the same torque, because these really never let me down and they do as promised, so these don't slip. I still haven't managed to have any problems. They feel awkward, but they work. If I have any problems, I'll put a comment in the video and make a follow-up video. But for now, they're working okay, and I am happy with these tools. They're not perfect, but I'm happy with them. So I've given you all the information and you must choose for yourself. It's not one of those tools where I think, oh, this is brilliant quality, I recommend it, it's top class. Some tools are like that, but these ones, they're a bit, decide for yourself. For me, they are getting the job done, and if they serve me well for a few more years, I will give them a good recommendation. And the price, at least in my country, and the prices that I could find, it's one of the less expensive ones. It's still a lot more expensive than non-ratcheting wrenches, but it's not hugely expensive. So that's the whole video. I hope you find it informative. I hope it helps you, and I hope it helps you decide more than confusing you. So I really cannot say, regardless of the budget, if I would buy some other tools, because of the important things, the defined torque that I know that I can use them for. So that for me was very important, and the fact that they are flat, that's very convenient for me. And it has its downsides, but it has its pros. For me, it was the choice that I went with, and I'm happy with. So in some way, I can say there is no alternative, because everywhere else that I looked, I could not find the torque specifications, or I could not find remotely reasonable price with a flat profile and so on. And the fact that they are thick may be very good for bicycles, because there the thickness does not get in the way, and you have more material spread over a wider area when you're working on, so they can in a way maybe even compensate for replacing flare wrenches. For example, the soft brass material used for hydraulic hoses, for those nuts that you tighten them with, that's I think only 8 millimeters or so, so it's not a very huge diameter, and the material is a bit soft, and you have no way of putting some box and wrench over it, because it's all in closed loop. So in that case, this may be even beneficial that they are thicker, so it may be a feature, not a bug, depending on which way you look at it and what kinds of tasks you use these for. So I think this is the longest philosophical debate about wrenches. And again, I hope you find this video helpful and informative. If you like this and want to see more of this kind of things, please share, like, subscribe, and I will see you in some other video. Cheers and stay cool. And another greetings for the Mr. Calvin and the whole Park Tools team, and I really like what they are doing and appreciate it highly and think it's a very good thing. I would like to see them keep it up, and I did buy some tools from Park Tool in order to pay a bit more, but I in a way supporting that kind of philosophy of sharing knowledge, and I think that's important, and I like that. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in some other video. Cheers.